Good morning, this is Jack from the AfterChat.net, and this is the pre-market recording for Thursday, the 15th of November. Our disclaimer, we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, and transfer it to your own charts. We're not here to issue trading signals. Right, I'm going to start... I've had some technical difficulties this morning, and I'm slightly late with the currency charts, but I've got everything else up, and I want to have a particularly close look at what could happen on equities today. Now, obviously, we had a nice opportunity for a candidate low yesterday, and we were watching very carefully in the afternoon. And if we'd gone up to 27.20 and come back to 27.05 and found support there, we had a decent looking IHS setup, and obviously all the positive divergence we could hope for. But it didn't hold that. It came down. Stan's called it lower, and we've just made, obviously, a lower low now. Now, we've got two choices here, mainly. The first one is that we find support here. We've set up a double bottom. We've got even more positive divergence, and we go up from here. We could also go a bit lower to Stan's 2660, but I'm going to talk about another possibility mainly today, and that is that this is a head and shoulders, that we were backtesting the neckline last night, and we did a perfect backtest overnight. And this is broken down with a target at a retest of the previous low. If we reach that, then we could overshoot and go down to the main target area at 25.30 to 40, which I was talking about in posts and so on and so forth for a while. This is not a bad setup for it. That is kind of a worryingly perfect retest, and this would take us exactly back to the within a point or two of the low. Is that going to happen? Maybe. It depends what happens today. We haven't got a lot of time. We have been seeing on some markets quite how fast things can move. This could move very fast. I'm watching this with great interest here. I'm watching the declining support trend line down in the 2660s. If we lose the 2660s, then in my view, this is a pretty decent setup to get us back to a retest this low. We haven't got a lot of time for it. That's not our primary setup here, but it is possible, and I want you to be aware of that today. Right, NQ. NQ, I don't have the equivalent head and shoulders there, possibly an asymmetric double top, but I don't tend to get as good pattern setups on NQ anyway. We have made a lower low. This is a possible double bottom. We're on a 60-minute buy signal as well. We shall see. Right, let's have a look at the SPX chart. Now, on the 60-minute chart, we do have some, we've got I've not marked it in, but we've got a 60-minute buy signal on the RSI 5. We lost divergence on the 60-minute RSI 14, which was a bit of a concern because we had quite nice divergence before that. There is a possible wedge here that is underthrown, but that's weakened by the fact we've gone down and retested that low, which doesn't help matters. On RUT, we have a possible falling wedge. We could have been forming an IHS last night, and that's one of the ones I was watching, and that hasn't happened. On the 60-minute chart, we have positive divergence on the RSI 14, we've got positive divergence, we've got a fixed buy signal on the RSI 5. Not bad. NQ, NDX got a decent looking falling wedge, but obviously that doesn't need to break up, and I've only put it in the support trend line and dotted because it's provisional. On the 60-minute chart, again, we got a 60-minute buy signal, and again, we've got a possible RSI 14 buy signal brewing. We obviously are on daily RSI 14 buy signals across the board. We have a lot of positive divergence here, but we'll have to see whether that amounts to anything. Obviously, we're in an inflection point here in the 2680s. We have another one down in the in the 2660s, and if we break through that, then I'm not seeing anything to suggest really that we're not going to go and retest the low, and if we retest the low, then I'm not seeing a really strong case for a low there. And we could well go down to that 25.30 to 40 area. You need to be aware of that. You need to bear that in mind today. Right, CL. CL looks like a flag forming, likely it is. I've got a very strong target area down in the 51, 52s. Near the 50% retracement of the move up from the bear market low. Now that we've broken support at 58, which is the bigger picture support trend line, I'm not seeing any reason we wouldn't go and get that. NG, we obviously saw the spike up yesterday when we had I think a fund fail and liquidate. So very suddenly, so we had this incredible move in an hour. Since then, we've come back, not quite retested it, and we have been trending down gently. Could be a couple of things happening here. There could be a falling megaphone. There could be an overall triangle forming. Watching it with interest. I think the most of the risk is to the downside on NG. This kind of move tends to get fully retraced and then overshoots. So, if we'd already fully retested this high, I'd be thinking this was in all probability a double top. As it is, I think we're likely to be back below 4 within days, and then possibly quite a lot back below 4. GC's come close to a retest of this high. DX has obviously been running overnight. I'm wondering about a retest of this high, 60-minute sell signal, and then a retest of this low. I'm not expecting it to break and convert weekly pivot and monthly pivot to support. Although, obviously, if ES heads down to 2600, that could surprise me. SI. SI, possible IHS forming, and actually this is a really nice pattern which I'd like to see make target. We're out of buy signal, and I think DX is suggesting that we're probably not going to make the target, and we're going to fail here back into a retest of this low. If we do that, then I've got possible retest coming of the overall bear market low in the 1366 area. HG, nice move up. We're back over the weekly pivot and monthly pivot, double support. This could be a double bottom breaking up with a target back at a retest of this high here. Is it? I don't know. We shall see. This could equally be a double top. We've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, and if it's going to trade along with HG, SI, and GC today, then I think the odds probably favour the downside. Right, ZB. ZB, I've got a nice channel here. The obvious next target within the channel is channel support. That's currently in about the 138.10 area, and it hasn't gone there directly. It's done a retest this high. It may be about to break up from this channel, or it's maybe a double top for a breakdown. As I said, we have got unfinished business here at a retest of this low, and as and when ES is done going to the downside, and that could be here, then its chances are it's going to go and do a retest. What I'm talking about is serious risk to the downside and the setup to get us there. But ideally, from a time frame point of view, on ES, we would have a Janus flag set up. We would fail back up here. And I think that's the obvious thing to do. It's just obviously we haven't actually done it yet. Right, DX. DX has flagged down, probably broken up. Obvious test at a retest. Obvious target is a retest of this high. May or may not make it. The 60-minute sell signal reached possible near miss target, so I'm disregarding that now. Now, hang on, wait a second. Let's just put up my commodity charts. I'm skipping the currency charts, but I'll answer questions on them if you've got any at the end. KC. KC, this is a possible channel. It didn't quite reach channel support. It's backtesting the monthly pivot here. I think Stan's expecting another leg down into the 105s, 106s. We'll see. So I don't really have anything particularly to add to that at this stage. SB is in a titanic struggle here. This is either a falling wedge, which is likely to break up with a targeted retest this high at 14.25 here, or this is a head and shoulders, which is breaking down with a target in the 11 area. There's not really much between those. It's likely to be one or the other. We'll see which way it goes. But at the moment, it's still in the inflection point. CC, it's testing the monthly pivot. We're on a 6-minute buy signal. I'm not seeing a strong reason for it to go much lower, although I do have a possible trend line in the 2100 area. No, not a trend line, a possible ideal right shoulder low target. CW, this is clarified overnight. Well, since yesterday morning's video, into a very nice channel. The next obvious target within the channel is channel resistance in the 523 area. Corn still not breaking down from this possible double top, not really expecting it to. Finding support at the monthly pivot so far. Leaning higher with soy. Soy, flag broke up, likely to make a full retest in the 900 area. Hasn't quite made that yet, but I'm expecting that it most likely will. Right, okay, great. I'm going to stop the recording there.